been questions and confusions about like Oscilio's few cards, like Sigil of Conductivity, of course, Blast to Oblivion, why we play 6 of this, and the newest edition that we have been playing is Glyph Overlay or Spindle, right? People have been saying they don't like this, they don't like that. The Glyph Overlay, the Spindle, is missing, but I thought I'd make a video about how to play like a little normal play patterns and like the things you can do with Glyph and Blast, showing here things and interactions with them and what kind of setups you want to play towards and use them. So I'm using here a little minimalistic setup with my new really cool this thing. So yeah, let's get started. So the general thing that you want to do is to charge up Volzar, right? That's like the number one thing. And the most value that you can get when you charge up your Volzar is playing this 0-4 attack. Get again. This attacks. And now you can somersault it, you attack before, somersault this back to your hand in damage step. And now you attack again. You got 3. You play Sigil. It's very important to have a Sigil per hand, right? Because it makes your Volzar free. You don't need to use Tunic or anything for that, although sometimes you need to use. You don't always get Sigils and you want to pass up like 5 value out of Volzar or anything that surges guaranteed, right? And now we just play, that was 4th. Sorry, missed that. 4th spell, 4th lightning card. Now we play Mind Fork for 6 and we get it. Now as you can see, if we don't have Somersault, that is one of our cards with Blast to Oblivion, that ramps up the Volzar really well with like reusing. We want to reuse the same cards over and over again to charge up Volzar over like AB breakpoints. If this is our hand, which is like already a fantastic hand, right? This 3 cards only. And we go Flittering for 4, try and go again. We get Volzar for 2, and now Mind Warp asks card out of their hand. But if we want this search guaranteed, which is like something we of course always want to achieve or try to achieve, you see that the AB2, AB3 is like really nice breakpoint for our opponent, because if this hand has like that is not an instant, that's an instant. If this hand has another instant, now we only get 3 charges, and AB3 stops this. So then we might as well arsenal that card and don't want to play it. Any attack works. We can use Blast. We need Embodiment of Lightnings or Blinks or Greaves for that. But we do not look Greaves combos today. It can be like different video altogether. I just want to show you like Greaveless things that we can do. So here we get 4 cards. So these cards, Sigil of Conductivity, something that was requested to as well make a video of. So we can imagine that we have a setup like this. Volzar is here. We've already made Embodiment last turn, right? We grab our 4th card here. We have Arsenal, Valley. Doesn't really matter what we have in our arsenal, really. But this setup here is just screaming for Blast to Oblivion, alright? And it's not something you can achieve very consistently into aggro matchups, right? Because you need to first find Embodiment of Lightning or something that creates it, and then Sigil of Conductivity. But once you get to this point in games that last a little bit longer than 2 to 4 turns, it starts to get like really nasty, right? So here we can open up Blast to Oblivion. Tunic is up 2 or whatever. Blast to Oblivion. Let's go again. Now in damage step, we play Sigil of Conductivity. Last triggers, we bounce this one back. The Embodiment of Lightning has been used here. And we create another Embodiment of Lightning. And this goes to 2. And we grab back the Conductivity here. Then we have a couple of options. Do we need these cards? Opponent blocked, we imagine, so we don't reveal them the value by playing it now to make them block poorly next attack, hopefully. I'm doing this combo with Yellow Blast because that was the first one I could find. We don't need to like show the absolute maximum of this. I think it's more fun that way. So now we just go Blast again. charge up Volzar for 3. You see how we are reusing the same cards? Blast is essentially drawing us our best cards back to our hand, using the same things, and we can charge up Volzar really fast. Our opponent does not block, blocks, so we can then use Oscilio's ability to cycle this. Doesn't do anything. We already have second one here. To get a card that might do something. Oh, look at me. I'm good at the game. Mind warp. Then damage step, we play again Sigil of Conductivity, bouncing this one back. And we get another embodiment of lightning here. And that is 4 count to Volzar. And now we can play this back and mind warp for 7. Another cool thing here is that if we don't need to use this, we can just cycle another conductivity to draw a card, because having many conductivities on the board when we don't board in Glyph in matchups is redundant. But if we have many conductivities when we have Glyph, that's like another side quest you can play into. Just put your conductivities down and see the power of Glyph later. So another thing here, third thing that we do, which is like very important. Say that we didn't have this in Arsenal, or like we had played this because we were forced to. We didn't have this one, so we are forced to play this to bounce Sigil of Conductivity back. We can now pitch it rather than play it back to keep the value around. There's also a line where if we play this value out to bounce back the thing, or valleys in Arsenal, we want to cycle fast. This scenario would be something that would happen in like aggro matchups where you just want to access your decks very fast and you don't need to get like maximum value per card. So here we have a situation that we have attacked with Blast to Oblivion. Here, same line first. We go Blast here. Go again, Conductivity on board. Opponent blocked. Same premise. In damage step, then we play this Channel Lightning Valley. Sorry, not the valley. We play this conductivity. We have 2 conductivities here, but this conductivity is still on the stack. Now this Blast to Oblivion triggers. This is on the stack. Blast to Oblivion triggers on top. We resolve the Blast to Oblivion to bounce the Sigil of Conductivity back. Now this creates our embodiment of lightning. Now we hold Prio where conductivity is still on the stack. So there is currently no sigils on the board. We can pitch now for Volzar, Sigil of Conductivity, and hold Prio on Volzar. So this would be our stack now. Sigil of Conductivity coming down, Volzar activated, but not resolved yet. We respond to Volzar by playing Valley out. So it goes to 5. And now Volzar resolves, amping 5 the next spell. Conductivity resolves. It's on the board. We have pitched for Valley, Conductivity, so it stays around. And now we should mind warp for 7, drawing us a card. And then we cannot sell this card. So now we accessed 1 card faster, and we keep everything around, everything the same. We nerf Glyph a bit, but keeping Valley around really good, because this card just makes our opponent block a lot, right? So yeah, that goes to bottom. We clean up this mess. We also have Embodiment of Lightning here ready to go. Channel Lightning Valley is channeled to 1. And now we can grab another hand here. Now, let's see. It's a pretty good hand, right? Because we have here Embodiment of Lightning ready. Current Funnel, not very good Arsenal. Because this can get stuck there. Cannot always be used. Very good card when you get to use it. But the premise for Current Funnel being good is attacks coming. Did you know by math that your attacks there's a big chance for your attacks to come out, and you have to go again. So then you can use this. But still, there are times where even if you have this premise, you'd rather block or pitch this card. So, you know, give and take. But now our Tunic rolls to 3. We go here, Ganon Flash. We don't need to cycle these yet because we can pitch but we can check this draw first on the value. So we attack for 4. We can draw here. Sure. Let's see. We draw Glyph. Again, very good at the game. These are preset, by the way. So we can ditch this null shock away if we want to. We get flitter in charge. So gun and a flash. The reason why we can ditch this is because we have pitch here. We have ender spell for this one already. And we have 2 instants for gun and a flash, so we can use the max value here because now we want to play brilliance in damage or resolution. In damage step, the last known information kicks in with the new rules. So it doesn't matter if you bounce this after damage or in resolution step, both work. And we refund to AB. Now we have action. Action point back. And don't need to see this. So walls are, now we got current funnel. Gun and flash. Now we can play null shock, pitching flittering charge. Giving this back. Go to 5. Don't need to amp this one here. And then we can play off this tunic glyph overlay. Activating Volzar for 10. 2 plus 5 plus this one. Now if we had boots here, we would of course with lightning greaves be positive action points because current fun grants us Gergen on this gun flash, and we use the instant. So this is Gergen, this is Gergen, both separate cards. Gergen's resolve, so you have now 2 action points. Set this glyph overlay. These pop. We get the embodiment. We shuffle. We have to resolve this card first. The glyph overlay, every card's text box basically has to be resolved first before you can resolve other effects. So we do a little shuffle here. And now the brilliance draws us a card. So this has been played, sorry. To bounce back to that. So this is now our hand. We have 1 action point, so we can continue the combo here. Do this, 2 action points, send this. That's that. So that's something that you can do with these setups. Another thing with glyph overlay, we can look at the same hand actually, because there's a very nice interaction. It can be done with glyph overlay or shock that actually used RTN. Don't need you. So we imagine this is our hand. 4-card hand, very good hand. Tunic is up. So we have 2 instants here. We again start with gun and flash. Tunic goes to 1, right? Then we play Sigil of Solace. This has been resolved. So we have action point, go current funnel for 2. Now we got gun and flash. Now as you can see, there's an unfortunate thing that we don't have any sigils currently sticking on the board. We have good Volzar count, and we do have an arcane spell. And we can basically just use Tunic to play this, but then we can't Volzar. But there's a nice little trick here that you can do. So now the gun has hit, or upon blocked, whatever, damage step, resolution step, cast a Tunic resource here. We pay into Null Shock. Null Shock has been paid. That's our 4th lightning spell. Now, the stack goes this way. So Gun and Flash triggers when you play Null Shock. So we take Gun and Flash back to our hand, not denying the trigger. Null Shock still not resolved in stack. We hold Prio here. Now we can activate Volzar, pitching Gun and Flash. This is actually a very relevant line that happens relatively often when you play shocks and stuff. And as you can see, we don't have greaves anymore. We have used them. No go against happening. So Gun and Flash Arsenal, not that valuable. We might as well just catch in the 4 damage straight up here on this arcane spell. So that is very cool. One really cool thing about shocks. But let's look at another things that might happen with Glyph overlay. These are combos that I have to do sometimes that are rather weird, but within the right game context, these are like very much good enough. Very much good enough to do. Like, as you can see, we don't have blast oblivions, we don't have gun flashes, nothing. We can imagine that our opponent has arsenal. So destructive edit that would be a search spell that works. So these are our spells. Let's say that we have arsenal destructive edit that here. And we draw into this hand. And we look to combo. Let me grab my greaves here real quick. Grab lightning greaves. Gonna get 3. Now, cool thing here is that we can play these, and then we can play Glyph overlay. Now it triggers these. Bullseye is at 4, doesn't matter our opponent AB. We get this. Then we shuffle and draw, and we can activate bindings to this as well. We activate bindings, and bindings would be now at 2. We use Bullseye for Glyph overlay, that charge doesn't matter anymore. Now we draw up. And if we activate greaves here, when playing these, we have 2 extra action points. This similar line works with Blink, by the way. It's just very good. We can blast here. We can somersault the blast. And we still have action point. We play blast. And now we still can destructive edit that for 3, going over our opponent AB1. So Glyph overlay triggering bindings very well. Another cool thing here is that if we play a long game, imagine we play a long game, and we would have something like double brilliance here, double conductivity here. Let's tunic up. And then, where is my Sigil of Aether? Is that sideboard? It might be sideboard. It's not sideboard. Destructive, this current funnel. Yada yada yada. There's Sigil of Aether. So now this has happened to me a couple of times, and I think this is like really fun. So we do have this, and here we have this one arsenal, and now we draw into this hand. Wow, man, brick hand. Not really though. Like, we can grab here a random card that we might be wanting to block with. This card, you can block this card. So then we play these. That's 2 lightning cards. And now we play Glyph overlay off of this tunic, bullseying it. This thing coming in for 9. And now we can then hold prior, activate bindings, and this is pretty much guaranteed to hit. So it just destroys all of these. And now what we can do is we order this in a way where as these get destroyed, it creates triggers of these bindings. So with this one goes, we get bindings to 1. Then this one goes, bindings to 2. Another conductivity, bindings for 3. And now here we can order which way we want to. Sigil Aether pops first, and then after that, this amp would go to 1. But here, obviously, we want to resolve the distraction amp first. So this goes and amps for 4. And now Sigil Aether, it deals arcane damage. So it's coming for 5. So this came in for 9. And this came in for 5, the Sigil Aether. So that's 15 arcane, 14 arcane, sorry. Which is pretty good. 14 arcane coming in for 4 cards. And keep in mind that is arcane as well. So let's look a little bit more about these blast lines. So let me craft here. Let's take Blast to Oblivion. Let's take a red one. And keep conductivity here. And now there might be some interactions that we want to look at. So let's grab some instance here that we want to deal these things with. We already went through the conductivity loops with the first one. I think that's like really cool. And Null Shock is a fantastic one. Somersault, of course. Just any instant, really. The only thing that does not work that well with gun is discharge. But we might as well look at that one too, because it is something that might happen. Let's grab Oscilio here. We Arsenal Blast. So this would be the first one. Let's look at the first one. So of course, always just with Blast Oblum, when you have Blast and Conductivity, the embodiment doesn't matter. It creates like this links white hands together. But if you are forced to play just 2 cards, then embodiment does not really matter. We go Blast Oblivion, we play the Sigil of Aether, and we create this embodiment. And now we can arsenal this conductivity, or we can just drop it and draw another card that we can arsenal into. So essentially, Blast just drawing us a card there. But let's keep the Sigil of Conductivity going. Put Aether there. So now if this was our setup, of course, just play this, play Blast, Voltar count to 1, Sigil of Aether on board, we play Conductivity, goes to 2, Blast triggers, responding to Blast trigger, we activate Voltar, Sigil still on board, so we can activate this. Sigil of Aether back to hand, that is 3 Arcane. So we attacked for 4, did 3 Arcane, with just 2 cards in hand. If somehow this is not on the table, of course, that would be 3 cards, I guess. But yeah, so let's not use that one. Now we've gone through that one, so I can Blast. Now there is also Sigil of Brilliance versus Sigil of Conductivity situations, where you might have a hand like this. We have Embodiment of Lightning, we have these. So do we want to draw a random card? If we have Go again, action point for it, the drawing random card is good, because we also can use this. But otherwise, it's just much better to go ahead here and let's see what we draw. So we play this first, then these, and now you get that one back. Wolves are already at 4. We draw a card, that's a press. Not doing much of anything here. Drop it, draw an old shot. We probably want to play it for 6 Arcane. But if we did not have this embodiment token, and this was our hand, now then the thing that is much better to do than draw random cards, don't be tunnel minded into always just picking up brilliance, is to create ourselves embodiment. So we now unlock our next turn. Next turn cannot suck, because we have Embodiment of Lightning. And we can also have Flash of Brilliance, Sigil of Brilliance here. And we have Instant Arsenal. So our breaking chances with this setup is just 50-50. You either prick or you don't. Yeah, that's how it goes. Other interactions that we might have here, if we don't have Embodiment of Lightning, we have Conductivity, and we have Blast and a Shock. One of my favorite hands. Absolutely. One of my favorite situations here. We have Tunic counter up, as you can see. Now we go Blast Oblivion, also at 1. Cash into Tunic counter for 1 resource. Play Shock, also at 2. Trigger Blast. we get conductivity back to our hand, hold prior on the shock, create embodiment. Now we play back the conductivity because we need schedule named on the field. And then we can just come here for 4 arcane. So 2 card 8, but we are playing wizard, so we deal here split damage. 4 arcane is more better than 4 attacks. It's harder to block. It needs to be blocked differently. Of course, situation dependent. And we also did embodiment of lightning. This value is like, I don't know, 2 or something like that. If we had here more sigil conductivities on the table starting this turn, when we get this back and hold prior on that one, we might want to use Oscilio here to troll us a card that goes into arsenal. So again, Blast Oblivion, drawing us a card, and setting things up, and making big numbers. And yeah, it's the best card in the game. So, that is that. There's also somersaulting that you can do, where you just, if you play this hand that does not have this one, and our hand is just these 3 cards, or these 2 cards, and this is on the table, we play Blast, we somersault Blast, grab this one back, get Embodiment Lightning. Now here might be a trap where you see that you want to arsenal Blast Oblivion because we don't have action point anymore to play it. But as conductivity not useful, we can cycle it, but we can't use the second card really. So let's just play. Because again, we arrive at the same setup here. Blast Arsenal, we get these 2. That is game winning setup here right here. Play around that one. Now whatever we draw here, we just win. And but with Lightning and Blink, same thing, right? Just Blast, Blink, getting extra action points. You get this one back. Now walls are set 2. Then we can play Sigil Conductivity, go to 4. Pitch, play Glyph Overlay for 9. Now if we had also, this has been used here. If we also had Brilliance here, now we have 2 extra action points because we blinked on the go again Blast. Sorry, 1 extra action point, right? So, except here should be Brilliance. Yeah. So now if our Glyph Overlay came in for 10, we get that 1 life. Let's shuffle up a bit. And we throw up. Now this probably goes to arsenal. But if it was something else, like etchings, we might be able to shoot it if we activate bindings. If that was a dire situation, you just want to do that, you can do that. Yeah. But like these kind of blast looping setups, we're able to play with conductivities and embodiment lightnings, and you can cash in the maximum values of shocks. Crafting these setups and hands in games that are not hyper aggro. For example, like Florian, or mid-range decks like Io. That's a little more aggro, I guess, but yeah. Any slower deck, Hachitori, just these alone wins games. If you play through those kinds of setups, and also prioritize Glyph Overlay and Comet Storm for Dominated Arcade, there is 0% chance that you get fatigued. Now, there's an edge case, of course, where we play against CYB Jarl. That was another question too, and they blow up our boots. Games like these I've been able to win too, just poorly because we've been playing Comet Storm, we've been playing Glyph Overlay at 3, so just doing like 10 damage. It's fantastic. As Glyph Overlay, the other thing with Glyph Overlay, right, is that can we zoom in? Hello. Not doing that. No. Anyways, when it surges, it puts sigils back to your deck. So you essentially, as you're playing 60 card deck, you don't want to, versus fatigue, still play more than 60 cards with Oscilio preferably, because then you start to dilute your deck with cards that you like make worse your chances to draw cards that are meaningful enough to play around. Because one thing I want you to understand is that Glyph Overlay, Blast to Oblivion, and Ganon Flash. These are like the 4 cards that you always want to find and play around. We can Blast reuses our instants and uses Volsar very well. So here we reuse our cards. Glyph Overlay, Tall Arcane, hard to deal with, reuses our cards because it puts sigils back to our deck. And Ganon Flash, it just reuses itself. It's essentially just our Titan's Hammer. Because we, I don't know, block 3 cards for 9, and then we swing Ganon Flash for 4, play instant, Arsenal Ganon. That's just our quote-unquote weapon, finally said. So playing around these cards in slower games or fatigue, you will never get fatigued. And that is like a very good value game plan as well. So if your boots gets blown up, then that's that. But there is also always a dire situation of not possibly playing around that. So then you might as well, if our opponent is like really disruptive and not pushing a lot of damage, we can pitch stack some things. Cards like Fluttering Charge and Fry I want to mention here as well. Because these are sort of like filler blast, filler Ganon Flash, where we can do our attack to instance to arcane spell stuff that we want to be doing turn by turn, really. So what could be stacked then into like CYB Jol if they blow up our boats? So of course we prio 1, we want an arcane spell there. Glyph Overlay or etchings, preferably Glyph Overlay. Then we do want conductivity for sure on the table. These against Jarl, he can't deal with these, so play all conductivities out. Just to buff Glyph Overlays, this is like if you play all conductivities out and don't cycle them, you don't want to be cycling a lot against fatigue. As little as possible, preferably 0. But if you have to, then you have to, right? Then we want Somersault. And we want Brilliance, of course. We can also like do it without Brilliance, because we can create like turn. If you play around Arcanes and have like decent turns, can't fatigue, and doing a stack like this is just also playing against fatigue. Let's just not do this, because that would be like overkill and already like very well explained. So let's do a little funnier stack than that. So we've been able to play around Ganon Flash. That, these are our four last cards. This is just our grave. Bang. Throw up 4 last cards. Come on. Show me what you got. No boots. Tunic at 3, because we've been counting that very well. Nice. Wrong counter. I need this. So yeah, as we want to see how this hand goes, is we have only 1 instant and we want to use it for blast. So we go blast, go again. Walls are at 1. We blink. Now this is very late stage of the game. Keep in mind that you do want to play around their blizzard. That might make us discard a card or like pay. So if he has those, you need to be wary of needing a card to pitch. But this funnel can be used both. Stalagmite, if you've been able to play decently, Stalagmite should not be around anymore. Or all in size cap that they probably shouldn't play even in the ice. So those things considered, just don't get ice card first bite here. But this for current funnel can be pitched. Just a heads up there. Now we blink. We go to 2 action points. We get this one back. We get Embodiment of Lightning. Walls are at 2. Now we can play with this embodiment, Scan Flash, Sigil of Conductivity. Our opponent has a blizzard, yay, creates a space, so we pay with current funnel. This one triggers gone back to our hand. That is, sorry, fourth arcane spell.
So good at that.
And then, since it had Gergen, we have one extra action point. We swing here again with Glyph Flash for 4. This goes to 5. And now Tunic, Glyph Overlay. This comes in for 9 arcane. So we attacked here on this hand 12 physical and 9 arcane, so 21. And that should be enough to close games. Now, if it isn't, then I don't know what's been happening throughout the game. But things that you can pump up this combo with is, of course, having Brilliance, having another Conductivity where you can loop Blast and Conductivity with another Blast, perhaps. So we don't have a gun flash here, but we would have something like this. This type of setup. So if you have Embodiment of Lightning, now we don't need Blink. If you have gun flash, you might need Blink, right? If you do this, and if you start without Embodiment of Lightning. But if we have a hand like this, and now we have Glyph Overlay Arsenal. Where did my other blast go? There. This one is a very good stack as well. Again, a card that can be paid to Blizzard, but also used offensively and grant us action points, so we don't need Greaves. This current fun card is just it's a blue block trade that is Greaves in our deck. So we go Blast. Play Conductivity. We get Conductivity, make Embodiment of Lightning. Tunic at 2. Can use this one here as well, if we haven't used them. So that would be at 1. Then we go Blast, go again. Play Sigil of Conductivity. Get this one back. Pulls her at 4. Now we imagine have Tunic again. Our opponent uses Blizzard to create Frostbite. We imagine like the worst case scenario here. Current funnel pitched. Now we play Conductivity back for 5. And now Tunic Resource, Glyph Overlay, coming again for 10. So now it was 8 physical and 10 arcane. So you can do stuff like this. Just looping embodiments with conductivities and blast, using funnel to create action points, using blink to create action points, as well as triggering digital conductivity blast, creating embodiments to get extra action points, so you can play with Ganon Flash multiple times. Anything like this results to pretty high like damage from attack actions, as well as ramping up Volsar with blast and conductivities. That ends to a arcane spell. And if it's not Glyph here, now then if we have 5 count here, then we just deal 2 less damage if it's like, I don't know, any zap ever, it's 2 less damage. Besides destructive, that is the worst case scenario where it's just 6 arcane, but 6 arcane is fine too, I think. Like, of course it depends on the situation, but you can pretty reliably stack a like 20 damage combo here where you have some form of guaranteed damage from arcane. Did I just make these cards the wrong way around? You hate to see that. Alright, now they're good. But yeah, those kind of end game stacks you don't need boost with. These also, you can see these setups happen randomly during your games too, where you can have like a proper Greaves turn without even using Greaves, because you just play Funnel, you play Blast, that are just good cards anyways, but they have these random ceilings. So yeah, remember, Conductivity is good, Embodiment of Lightning good. Just playing around Ganon Flash, playing around Blast to Oblivion, and longer games playing around Glyph Overlay. Very good. These are like our just 3 main stars right now. Also, I would like to say Shock. Let me promote Shock here too a little bit. of course, all the sigils, especially these two. But Sigil of 8 are pushing Arcane as well and making hard decisions for opponent, really nice. And Sigil of Lightning, of course, just creating the embodiment as well. Let me shout out here our shocks as well. And long games, we do want to use Tunic for this. If we can get like 4 or 5 value out of Tunic, that is always just very good. Just don't be conservative about the Tunic use. You have time to craft up your combo, unless you are like so far behind that you need absolutely like a banger gun and a flash combo right now to stay in the game. But these main all stars of the deck right now, playing these like high value turns. Now you might ask, what the fuck do I do against aggro? Well, you know, it's very simple. Just draw a gun and flash, throw Sigil of Brilliance, or throw a Blast of Leon, throw Sigil of Brilliance, do combo. If you can do that, you probably lose. But that's that, yeah. That's just the main thing. Another thing against aggro, of course, they usually play low Arcane. So play Destructive Aid Tide. Let me summarize this real quick. So there's like two main things against aggro with like very replicative play patterns. Prio number 1, cycle as fast as you can into your combo. So you can play a combo that does good physical into good arcane. Prio number 2, don't let them play 5-card hands. Just get over their AB with these spells. Block with rest. You're good to go. That's pretty much just the meat and balls and potatoes of that thing. But yeah, I hope this setup was fun. I think this is pretty fun. Just I just this over TTS. It's just so much fun. I just love to handle cards. These are so great. These are so great. Look, that's a good ass hand with a Monument Lightning. Nice. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful and enjoy your day.